Hello, welcome into my workshop and welcome to the show Creations in Clay. Today we're going to paint the Megalodon prehistoric shark that I did about a week ago. And I'm going to show you how to do it. I get some really good colors. I've got, some greens, some blues, some nice white color, grays. So I will show you how to paint that from start. I'll kind of flip that around so you get a really good look at that. And I'll show you how to paint that from start to finish. The types of paints we're going to be using acrylic paints here. I have white, a gray, and then I have a kind of like an off-white color for the teeth, two colors of red for the mouth, and then we're going to mix these with a little pink when we do the lips of the shark. And I have a nice blue and some greens and a black for the eyes. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to paint the underside of the shark, and we're going to use it's white. And I will show you. We'll put that right there. And I can kind of put these off to the side for a minute so we know. Or I'll just pull them back here. Near me. So we'll get that, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. We're going to take this right here, and we're going to paint the underside of the shark, the white. See that? How I'm painting that? Just like that. We'll paint a little up here too. I'm going to paint. I want to get the fins, the underside like that, and then we'll paint the sides. Look at that. That looks really nice. Look at that. That. Look at that. Want to paint. Give that a nice coat. See how we did that entire thing like that? See that? That way you can see exactly what we did. And then, the next thing that I want to do is I do want to blow dry it a little bit so it'll be easier for us to work with. So we're going to blow that a little bit. Okay, that seems to be somewhat dry. The next thing that I'd like to do is I want to paint the inside of the mouth of the Megalodon shark. I got a couple of color reds here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix these. Put that there like that. We'll just mix them a little bit. One's a darker color red than the other. So, but that'll come out pretty good, I think. Just want to make it a little darker than. See how we're mixing that? Okay. Now, I'm going to take and I'm going to put it in the very back of the mouth. We're going to put the red. Just what you do is take the paintbrush and just very gently go and get that area in the back, because you don't want to knock out any of the teeth. Just get that like that. So I'm just going to yeah, that looks pretty good. It's kind of hard to see in there, but I did get that with the red color that we just mixed. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to do the teeth. So I have an off-white color right here that I'm going to use. I'm going to put that right here. And we're going to do that for the teeth, because I think the teeth are one of the best features on the shark here. Just want to make sure that I cleaned out all the red. So I'll wipe it against the paper towel. And now we're going to paint those. There's like 3 rows of teeth in here, so I'm just going to dab those ever so lightly. So you're going to paint that. See how we're doing that? Then we paint that. But now what I'm going to do is take and like dab inside the mouth there. Go all around. Because we want to make sure we get all 3 rows of teeth. See how we're doing that? So, see how I'm doing that? So I want to dab it so I'm getting both sides of the tooth, or the teeth. So we got that. I want to make sure I get those front teeth. See that? Just I want to dab it good. See that? I think we just about finished with the teeth now. But I was trying to make sure I did all 3 rows, so see that, how beautiful that looks? Nice and white. So the next thing that we want to do is I want to start adding some other colors to him. We're going to do think we'll use black. Because what I want to do with the black is I want to make the black eyes. Let me make sure. Okay, there we go. So what we're going to do here is I want to paint the gill slits first. Then we'll get to the eyes. But I just want to try to paint inside. This will give them some depth. See that? So I'm going to paint the inside of those black. I'm going to paint over this so. But I want to get the very inside of the slits black. So now we'll do the same thing for the other side. See, I'm just kind of dabbing in there. Because you want to fill in that area nicely. Because that will give it some depth when we paint lighter colors over it. It'll make those a little more pronounced so they're more visible. And then another thing that I want to do is we'll paint the tips here black of the fins right here. See that? See how I'm doing that? You get a better view if I do it that way. Okay, and then we'll do the other side. I'm going to paint that right there. You want to go all around it so you get the entire thing. Just like that. And then we got that there. I think it makes them, the darker colors are going to make them look a little more menacing. And then we'll paint a little black on here, on the dorsal fin. We'll paint a little black on here. I just want to paint some various parts black, so when we cover it over, it makes them a little darker. I'm going to paint some of these areas here. He's got some nice scarring up here. Little scarring up here. Make that a little more pronounced. Because you figure if he's a prehistoric shark, he would get into a lot of battles and things with various creatures. He's trying to hunt them down for food. So we got that. So there's one more area I missed that I want to hit. Let me see, I'll just get I want to add a little black right here. And another thing that I want to hit also are the eyes. We forgot to do the eyes. That's one of the most important things. Oh, and then I want to do the nostrils here. So we'll do the nostrils in front. That'll make those look a little more visible. And then we'll do the eyes. I'll flip them over so we can see. So I'm doing the eye right here. like that. That looks so nice. Nice black color for the eye. Look at that. See how nice that looks? Now we're ready for the other paints. Do that. Okay, so now we got our black. I do want to do, yep, I think we're going to work with these, the greens and the blue. We've got that out of the way. I'll be using the gray in a minute. And then the portrait pink, we'll be using that in a minute. But I want to show you, we're going to do the greens. And then what we'll do is I want to take one of this, and then we'll mix a little bit of this too. Okay. So now, what we'll do is we'll paint it with some of these colors first. A little bit of the green. I want to make sure I get all the water out of it. See that, how we're doing that? Do the nice fins, a little green. And then we'll kind of paint that over the black a little bit. So I'm painting that over the black a little bit. And we're going to do this side too. Paint over that black color a little bit. See how we're doing that? We'll paint over that. Yeah, that looks nice. See that? Then we'll take this side. Do the same thing. See how that's starting to look? Darkens them up nicely. Okay, Now we've done that. So now we're going to take another color green and kind of go over that a little bit. Just dab it ever so slightly. See that? I like that because it's just slightly darker than the previous one. See that? And we kind of paint over the gill slits a little bit. And paint over that. See that? So now, that's got a really nice effect to it by mixing the colors a little bit like that. And then I'll paint that a little green. Now, I told you we were going to mix some of the two greens together. So coming back here, and just going to slightly dab it here and there. Just ever so slightly. We're going to paint over the black a little bit more. See, it makes them a little more interesting. You get some of those blacks in there. We're just dabbing it here and there. See how nice that looks? The next color we want to add is, I want to do a little blue. So I'm going to add that. Let me just clean this brush out a little bit. I like this one. I can cover a little more area with this one. So now we have, I'm going to add a little blue. So we're going to just add a little touch of blue here and there. Just dab it ever so slightly. You don't want to make it too pronounced, but you're just going to dab a little bit. So see, like here on the fins, I'll dab a little on each, and I'll work it in. Up the top. I'll do a little bit around here, a little bit over the gills. See how we're doing that? ever so slightly up the top here, the nose. I want to do the dorsal fin on the back a little bit. I want to darken that up a little bit. See that? Then we'll try to darken this up a little bit. See that? Just add a little, makes it a little darker. Just gonna brush it in. Don't completely cover it because you want to maintain all those colors we just had. And then we'll do the other side too. We're going to dab that in nicely. Yeah, that looks good. Now, I'm going to wipe my hands a little bit because I'm kind of smudging some of my paint now. Let me see. So what I'm going to do, I have to replace some of the greens that I did. Looks like up here with this, see, I'm going to just touch the top of that. I'll swing it to the side so you can see it a little better. But I kind of smudged this a little bit. So I'm just going to repaint over it. So then put a little more of the blue up there again. I'll darken it up a little bit. And that's really starting to look nice. Okay, so now the next thing that we want to do is I'm going to take and put the blow dryer on it because we need to Now I'm going to dry my hands again with the paper towel. Just, I don't want to smudge any of the paint work I did now that that's dry. The last and final piece that we want to do is, let's see, I'll do like that. We do want to add a couple more colors. So now, when we mix the red, I want to take this portrait pink and add it to the reds that we were using. Now we're going to mix that together. Add a little more portrait pink to that. Okay. So now what we want to do is this area right here. I'm going to paint the area of the lips around the mouth. See how we're doing that? So that really helps to make the teeth look, stand out. See how I'm doing that area right there? And then we're going to do the same thing for the bottom. Yeah, I think that really helps. Now that we've done that, I think that looks pretty good now. See that? Just kind of rotate it for you. See, we did those nice lips like that. Now, the next thing that we want to do is we'll use a little bit of gray. So I'm going to put the gray there. It's getting down near the end, but we still got a little bit left in there. Put that there. I want to make the underside look a little darker. See how nice and white it is? We're just going to ever so slightly put a little gray in there to make it a little darker. Just dab it on. I just want to make it a slightly darker color. See that? We don't want to put too much gray on, but we want to give it a little darker. Make it a little darker than. I'm going to want to make it dirty it up a little bit. So do that. So you just dab it on ever so slightly. Just want to make it a little bit darker. See I'm doing that? See how nice that looks? I dirtied it up a little bit, and I think that makes it look a little better. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to add a little gray. I don't want to the shark here and there. Add a little gray here and there. We're just going to add some highlights here and there, just ever so slightly. Paint around like that. And then the gill slits, I want to kind of make those a little lighter. Add a little, see, I'll just dab. Ever so slightly, just dab a little bit on there. Add a little more gray here. And then we'll do the same for the other side. Little dabs, and then what you do is you just work it in so it see how we did that with the gray? I think that gives it a really nice effect. So let me put this one down. Dry my hands off. And I'll show you what the final version will look like. This is the final version of the Megalodon. That's what it looked like from the side. See how we dirtied it up a little with the gray paint on the underside? You see how, by adding the gray at the end, it gives it a really nice texture and color. That's what it looks like from that side. And I also love the mouth. Look at that, how making the lips, that reddish color, mix it with the pink. Really nice set of lips, and those really intense black eyes. And that's what he looks like from the other side, and that's what he looks like from the very, very top. So that's what our prehistoric, or a Megalodon prehistoric shark will look like when it's finally completed. What I like about this too, it highlights all the scarring and everything that's on his body too. The paints and things. It really helps with that. I do want to thank you for coming to the show Creations in Clay today, and I do look forward to seeing you again next week. Goodbye for now.